Listen, we're back with another video. I hope you guys are doing well. We got a lesson today. This is one of the most important of the next 6 lessons, okay? It is one of the most important of the next 6 lessons. Hear me, your elder in chief here on this channel, Karima McGee. This is one of the most important videos of the next 6 videos that are going to be uploaded to this channel. I want to give a huge shout out to one of my most amazing subscribers. She gives me ideas all the time. She's in the comments. I kind of feel like we're sisters. I call her Sister Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Hi, love. This video and tomorrow's video is because of you. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you for thinking about me. Thank you for being connected. Thank you for writing. I appreciate you. Now, there was also a young lady who some months ago asked if I can do a video on the woman from the Addams family, okay? She wanted me to talk about the femininity aspects of her. I did that video. That video is going to be amazing. And young lady, I'm not sure if you knew, but when you gave me that idea, that was a rabbit hole that I enjoyed going down. So I'm excited about that video. So here's how the videos are going to work. Today's video here, we are talking about the honeybee. Woo, child, you don't want to miss that, okay? We're going to talk about this video. In this video, we're going to talk about the honeybee. Tomorrow's video, let's go ahead and put that up there, okay? And then Wednesday video, let's go ahead and put that up. Okay, these videos you don't want to miss, okay? We have 6 videos coming up total, all right? But today's video is going to be one of the most important because it's going to help you with your dating life and selecting the right mate. And it's going to be some harsh lessons from Elder Eden in today's video. So go and grab yourself some tea. I had some kava kava tea. If you don't know me, whenever I'm having kava kava tea, I am zened out, okay? So if you've ever watched any of my videos, or if you watched several of my videos, you can probably tell. Alhamdulillah. Excuse me. You can probably tell when I've had kava tea and when I'm just straight up Karima McGee. I'm very much high energy normally, but whenever I'm having my tea and I've had meditation, I'm a little bit more relaxed and chill. And today I am relaxed and chill. I had some kava tea. So if you have kava tea, which is one of my favorite teas to have, okay, get yourself a cup, get yourself a pen, get yourself some paper. Today's lesson is going to be deep, okay? Now, I am coming to you in my most relaxed. I had about an hour and a half of meditation today because I wanted to be able to tap into Elder Eden so I can get the message out to you as it had intended, okay? With myself removed from it, but more so of the wisdom of Elder Eden. I really, really prepared spiritually for this video so that my ladies can understand it, so that you guys can get it, okay? One of the most dangerous men, personality type wise, is the honey bee. And I want to go deep, okay? Get your books. If you have Amazon, download it. If you have Kindle, it's up there for free, so you can read it for free. I don't know if it ends today, but grab your book, okay? We are going to go to page 170. Go to page 170, guys. All right. On page 170, Elder Eden, and let me explain something. If you haven't read the book, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I have to kind of give you this information so you understand, okay? Asana was a very bullheaded woman, strong in her femininity. She understood the power that she had over men. Bullheaded is what Elder Eden knew about women, especially those that she trained that came to her compound. Elder Eden knew that only 1% of the women that she trained would absorb the knowledge and apply it so that they can have the most fulfilling life possible. She knew that only 1% of the women would become a sana, and that all the others would still be bullheaded in their actions, meaning that they will fall in love with men that they knew they had no business ever even trying, that they would submit to men who didn't deserve the level of submission that they gave. Okay? Elder Eden knew that only 1% of all of the women that she had trained, all of the knowledge that she had imparted to them, that only 1% of those women will become a sana, essentially. Even a sana operated out of a space of that same ignorance, that same ego. Every woman who watches this video can admit to being with someone that they knew they had no business with from the beginning. They knew they had no business with. But there was something in them that drove them to calling one more time, or texting one more time, or going to his house unannounced, or showing up at his job, or confronting the other woman. Every woman will have that experience at some moment in her life, no matter how far off into her asana journey she is. And if Elder Eden were talking to you, she would tell you this is the reason. Inside of femininity is the ultimate desire to conquer. Now, you would assume that conquering is a masculine trait, right? You assume that conquering and going to get and being the chaser and being the hunter, all of those are masculine traits. There's a trait in femininity that none of us really want to ever explore, and that is the level of egotism that surrounds our ability to seduce. Hear me. Elder Eden will tell you that within that knowledge of understanding that you have the capability to seduce a man is also the ultimate detriment to your heart, your spirit, and your self-esteem. It is that thing that gives you the power to seduce someone is also the thing that will cause you plenty of heartbreak, because that thing can also be rooted in egotism. The thought that you can win because you know you can seduce. Elder Eden will tell you that because women have the ability to seduce in that way, okay, that will also get women into trouble, into dating men outside of their league from a personality perspective. Now, what am I talking about? What am I talking about, okay? For every woman that you come across, not all of us are the same, okay? Although some people want to put us all in, they want to put us all in one box and say that we all are the same. Okay, that's why the wisdom of Elder Eden is important, because the wisdom of Elder Eden says that we must respect that every woman is going to be in a different stage in her life on her feminine journey, just as well as men. So Elder Eden gives us personality types of men. Okay, and she breaks it down into 5 categories, so that when women are court, or when they are being courted by men, okay, or being approached, she must use her intuition, okay, to discern what type of guy she's with, okay, to decide if this guy is in her league. There are certain men with certain characteristics that you yourself were never born to battle. You can't win because that is a battle that is not set up for you. Okay? When I mean a battle not set up for you, you have to understand that for every person you meet, There is a characteristic. We all have characteristic flaws, right? We all have characteristic flaws, but we also have those things that are also good that makes us compatible with one another. So when I am saying out of our league or out of my league, I'm talking about compatibility wise. And I hope that makes sense. When we are talking about the honeybee is out of every woman's league. Here's why. The elder says, Asana, this is your last lesson. The honeybee, the goat, the penguin, the boar, and the whale. The honeybee, the goat, the penguin, the boar, and the whale. Elder Eden told Asana that her last lesson is that there were 5 personality traits when it comes to the masculine energy. Okay? 5 personality traits that she must understand, that she must really master, so that if she came in contact with any of the 5, she would understand whether or not one of those personality traits was out of her league. Now, when I say out of her league, we are not talking about out of her league because of looks or out of her league because of her. No, we're talking about out of her league because of their personality and their characteristic traits would make them incompatible. Listen, to love is war. No one escapes the torture of a controlling lover unless he understands that the lover will always become the enemy. And anyone standing in front of the beloved is prey. I'm going to stop there for a moment because I want to flash this picture. Go ahead and flash that picture there. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a video on Ari Lennox. Do you guys remember? I did a video on Ari Lennox. And let's just say my intuition will be on point, okay? I did a video on Ari Lennox, and in that video of Ari Lennox, do you guys remember who I paired her side by side with? KeishaCole. Hear me. KeishaCole. KeishaCole got involved with this guy here. Go ahead. Put it up there. KeishaCole got involved with this guy here, in which she didn't know, or whether perhaps she did know, because remember we said, Elder Eden says that every woman always knows. She got involved with this guy here, not understanding the consequences of dating someone out of her league, meaning dating someone who's not compatible with her makeup, her energetic makeup. She was not prepared to fight this battle. You will not win when the honeybee stings. When the honeybee stings, you will not win. I don't care how good your poom poom is. I don't care how beautiful you are. You can be the prettiest woman on the planet. You could be Miss America. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Here's why. And the reason why I put the guy up here, this Antonio guy, okay, the reason why I put him here is because in the video that I did with Ari Lennox, I told you guys a snippet of what I felt energetically from KeishaCole, as far as to loving people who didn't deserve love, or giving love to people who didn't need that, on that level of love that she gave. The fact that she got a tattoo is no surprise of me. I can see it. This is my life's work. Of course she would get a tattoo of a guy who didn't love her back. Of course she would. I can see it. I can feel it. This is my life's work. It's no surprise to me. When I heard that she got a tattoo of this guy, whether it's true or not, when I heard that she had got a tattoo of this guy who was clearly a honeybee in nature, I truly was like, okay, that's no big surprise. It's her makeup. She hasn't been to Elder Eden's compound. And if she's been to Elder Eden's compound, she's still stuck in the ego stage of that journey. Okay? There's no surprise that she got a tattoo of a guy who was the honeybee and that she was fooled a few times. There's no surprise. All of us will be fooled at least once, okay? Or at least twice. along our feminine journey. But once we start to adhere to the lessons that Elder Eden gives us, we can become masters of that thing. And then we will become a Asana. Here's what I want you to understand. When Elder Eden told Asana, to love is to war. You don't go to battle without your armor. Are you insane? You don't fall into love. When you fall into love, as Elder Eden explains it to Asana when she's teaching her, when you become reckless with your heart and you just start tripping and falling all over everything, okay, you set yourself up for betrayal and disappointment and heartbreak. The kind that will have a woman stay with her husband for 25 years, not knowing that 10 of those years he had a family on the other side of town. Okay? When we are not wise, when we're not paying attention, when we are leading with our emotions and not leading with our intuition. Okay? We always know, but we don't lead with it. So she said, to love is to war. When you armor up, that means you start to understand what Elder Eden meant by the honeybee, the goat, the penguin, the boar, and the whale. You understand those characteristics. And when you start to date someone, you start to learn them before you submit completely to someone that you have yet to make an assessment on. Okay? You have yet to make an assessment on this person. However, you are already in debt. I had a young lady who called me. By the way, she sent me this perfume called Alcat from Sergioff. Alcat. I have it on right now. It smells like liquid gold. I love it. But she sent me this perfume, okay? Because of the hard lessons of Elder Eden. Okay, and learning how to deal with the whale, learning how to deal with the boar, learning to stop dating the honeybee. It was a very hard lesson for her because she was so used to loving that way that breaking those behaviors essentially broke her. But out of breaking her, she was able to rebuild and reestablish herself. And that's what I want for all of you. Yes, fall in love, get your heart broken, okay. Learn, yes. But at some moment, be hungry for the knowledge and get ready to have a different outcome, okay? If that's what your desire is. So when Elder Eden said to love is to war, she's basically telling Asana, do not go to battle because love is going to be a battle. And anyone would tell you that marriage and relationship is not easy. So Elder Eden is saying, you're going to war. Do not go to battle without your armor. Armor up. And how do you armor up? You armor up with understanding the personality traits of those you might encounter. So that you can pick the right personality trait that's going to be most compatible with your inner spirit. And when you are submitting to anyone that you submit to, I would hope that at some point you had made that assessment. Then, of course, can an assessment change? Can someone show up as a representative? Yes, yes, yes. But Elder Eden gives us the tools. She gives us the tools so that we can identify and choose the right mate. She said to love is to war, and no one escapes the torture of a controlling lover unless he understands that the lover will always become the enemy. Understand, I don't care how many years a person has been married. If they fall out, guess what? They become enemies in some cases. Okay? Because to love and to not be able to be controlled, at some point now you become the enemy because I can't control you. And because I can't control you, you're now the enemy. So please understand that to love is to war, and you have to armor up. Okay? She said, you must learn his character to survive this so-called love thing. She called it so-called love thing. Elder Eden says love is this so-called love thing. Okay? You must learn his character to survive it, which means that some may not make it out alive. That's pretty deep. And perhaps that's why Elder Eden said to love is to war. because she understands that that kind of engagement with another person, that kind of sharing and exchanging, might leave someone to not be able to make it out. So she said, to survive this so-called love thing, she said, it is fleeting and dangerous. Elder Eden knew that this love thing could be fleeting and it could also be dangerous. And she was telling the son, this is your last lesson. This is your last one. And you must understand it to survive this so-called love thing. Armor up. You must learn his character to survive this so-called love thing because it's fleeting, okay? And she said, and the most enthralled of romances end in tragedy. The most enthralled of romances end in tragedy. In tragedy, you can go back in history and you'll see that. I have another project coming out for you guys. You'll see that the most enthralled of romances end in tragedy. Why is that? And why is it that love can be such a tragic thing? Well, Elder Eden knew why. And if you read and understand her knowledge and apply it, you would also, okay? She said it ends in tragedy. The bitterness is all that remains when betrayal enters the room. So I don't care who you are, how strong you are, how feminine you are, how beautiful you are. When betrayal enters the room, the worst part of you is now exposed. That's why love can become bitter. And that's why sometimes the most love can now become the enemy. Is because when betrayal walks in the room, there's a different you that shows up in response to that, okay? So listen, not a trace of love nor romance can be found. This is human nature. If you have to choose your poison, choose wisely. Elder Eden told Asana, okay, so let's say you want to find a lover. Let's say you want to find a man. If you want to find a man, choose wisely. It's all going to be poison. But pick the best of all the poisons. Isn't that deep? Think about it. Elder Eden is teaching Asana that all of the choices out of the 5 that she gave her, personality types, the honeybee, the goat, the whale, the boar, the penguin, and, did I miss one? The honeybee, the goat, the penguin, the boar, and the whale. That out of all of the personality types, no matter which one she chose, there was going to be some poison. And that's symbolic too. Whatever you choose in life, if you choose to be a wife, if you choose to be single. There's some women who are at home that are married and bored out of their mind wanting to be single because they never see their husbands. Maybe perhaps their husbands are always on the road or always on the go. And so they are seeking that, that affair where you're thrown up against the wall and your shirt is ripped up. They're seeking that passion and that love. But they have something that the single woman doesn't have. They have the husband. But then there's some single women who are looking at the married woman thinking she has security. She has stability. She's being taken good care of. She has all of those things that I don't have, and here I am as single. Well, Elder Eden would tell you that whether you are single or married or engaged or with someone or in a relationship, that either way, it's a choice with a set of consequences, a choice with a set of benefits, and or the opposite may also be true. So when Elder Eden told Asana, pick your poison wisely, she's basically saying, I don't care which one of the men you choose. Each one of them is going to come with its own set of problems. And you're going to have to be able to navigate that. But you're going to have to choose what set of problems you would prefer. Would you prefer the set of problems of a single woman, or would you prefer the set of problems of a married woman? Would you prefer the set of problems of everything that you choose has its own set of problems that comes with it. And neither one is better than the other, but the world will make you assume that it is. So you have to choose what you want for yourself and be up for the challenge, whatever that might be. When Elder Eden said, this is human nature, she's basically saying it's the human condition. There's no getting around having a set of consequences from whatever choice you choose. And whatever choice you choose, it's going to come with its own set of whatever that is. But you have to be up for the challenge. Now, today we're not talking about the goat. We're not talking about the penguin. We're not talking about the boar. We're talking about the honeybee. And why I believe this KeishaCole woman who just has a love that just needs to be reined in. That energy needs to be reined in. Okay. I really wish I could get her on the phone and allow her to just digest the spirit of Elder Eden. But listen, I can talk to you. So let's get this going. A honeybee, the honeybee, a male without repentance. He's more sinister than any one of the others. So when Elder Eden was saying that the honeybee was more sinister than any of the others, she's talking about the boar, the whale, she's talking about all the other characteristics. There's five, right? There's five characteristics that she's talking about. But she said the honeybee is more sinister than all of them. Okay, I'm hungry. Sorry, guys. He has no intention of loving anyone other than himself. And here's why: you'll get a man on the internet who would do a message like this one here. I don't know if we can put it up here. But as a form of it's trying to embarrass you before the world, to strip you of your dignity before the world. Because you have to understand that the honeybee gets pleasure out of stinging you. Hear me. The honeybee gets pleasure out of stinging you. He gets pleasure out of seeing you fall head over heels. Okay? He gets pleasure out of, is it called duper's delight? Duper's delight is where the person gets delight out of seeing that they just manipulated you. They get pure pleasure of knowing that they were able to fool you into believing something that wasn't true. So it's pleasurable to see you crying and crawling and calling and doing all of those things. They get pleasure out of that. It feeds their ego. It inflates their manhood. And we'll talk about why that is later. But he has no intention of loving anyone other than himself. He mates with a fierce vigilance and is capable of engaging multiple women. The honeybee is, how the honeybee, flower to flower to flower to flower to flower to flower to flower. That behavior characteristics, each one of the names that Elder Eden had given to the five personality traits of the male is pulling from the personality types of those particular, names. So the honeybee going from flower to flower to flower is actually in the true honeybee's nature. Okay, never mating just with you. What's so special about you when I can go from flower to flower to flower to flower? Okay, so he mates with a fierce vengeance and is capable of engaging multiple women with no remorse. He's not fit for marriage. Now, a lot of women will marry the honeybee because let me tell you something about the honeybee. Go ahead and put that picture up right there. Put that picture up right there. The honeybee is bright and vibrant and he looks good. He's good and pleasing on the eye. He knows exactly how to package himself, okay? So that you have a sense of pride when you're with him versus the reverse, okay? Which is a psychological thing. That's how sinister it is. Is I have to be packaged well enough to get what I want. And so many people are fooled by the packaging that a lot of the women actually end up walking down the aisle knowing that they're with the honeybee. But somehow that ego comes in thinking that maybe I can change him, right? He's packaged very well. Flashy and overconfident. We're not talking about a sense of surety, okay? We're talking about that alpha male silliness stuff, okay? That I'm an alpha, banging on your chest kind of thing, okay? See me, see me, see me, see me, I'm an alpha. See me, see me, see me, see me, I'm an alpha. I prefer the sigma, to be honest. But the alpha male, he's in front of everybody. He's in the crowd. He wants to be seen. He's flashy. He's the kind that's throwing his money along the club. He's the one that's popping all the bottles. He's the one that's pulling up in 5 cars. He's the one pulling up in his brand new Jordan or his brand new suit and tie and letting everybody know, I am here. That is the honeybee. He's the one that everybody wants because he's out front. But if Elder Eden could talk to you, she would tell you that's not the one you want. That's not the one you want. Back away. That's not the one you want. Okay? But everybody wants him because he's flashy and overconfident. And this personality trait is what makes him dangerous for women. Seeking something pure. If you want something pure, you don't go to the honeybee. But because he's in our faces and he's out there and he looks good and he's flashy and he's well packaged, it makes us want to conquer it, right? He's the master of facades. Woo! When we talk about the representative, listen, there's no other male personality type like the honeybee, darling. When in his yellow and black, okay, when he shows up, he is the master of facades. He's the kind of guy that is, flashing all of his money before everyone, okay? Flashing all of his money, what appears to be his money, okay? He is the master of facades. You will feel like you are the one woman that he loves. He is courting you uncontrollably. He is love bombing you. You are feeling like this guy is coming from me. He loves me and only me. Even though all the other girls want him, he's chosen me. Yeah. I win. But he's the master of facades. He's the most dangerous because he will lie, steal, and possibly kill for a woman he wants, knowing full well his intentions are to serve himself. So he will come after you, charge after you, call you, court you, throw money at you, love bomb you. He will do all of those things just to get you. And it has nothing to do with you. It's all because it's what he wants from himself. He is self-serving, okay? His intentions are to serve himself. He's self-serving, and it's all a game of power. This is the selfishness of a honeybee. He has the power to evoke in any woman the spirit of rage. Okay, so let's go deep for a second. Okay, Elder Eden taught us. Gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm sorry. Every time I get on video, I don't know why my belly does this, but Elder Eden was teaching us that the honeybee is going to be flashy. He is going to be out front. He is going to be that guy. He's going to be that guy who's, the public speaker with a nice suit and a nice shoes, and he exudes a sense of power, okay? What you think is power, okay? That's why I like the Sigma. Okay, but he's supposedly exuding this sense of power. Let's put that picture back up there again, okay? This guy looks good. I mean, he is actually quite fine. Not my type, but quite fine, okay? A good-looking man. When he loves you, takes you out on a date, he's the kind of guy that on your first date, he's going to take you to the Chanel store. That $5,700 bag, no problem, okay? He's going to get you those Chanel slippers. You know the ones that's $2,700? Put it in the bag. The ones, the sneakers that are $900, the Chanel ones, put it in the bag. And perhaps you've never experienced that before. So he's going to give you all of that up front. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I want more. This is going to become addictive. The other part of the honeybee, let me just go a little bit deeper. I want to take you back to the hood where I'm from, okay? I want to take you back to the days of pimps. And please do not think that pimp game is over. Oh, it's very much well alive, darling. It is very much well alive. So I need to give you this information so you understand it, okay? Back in the days of the pimp, well, I say back in the days because I'm taking you back to a time that I remember, okay? The women who had pimps, or even still who have pimps, You'd be surprised at how beautiful these women are. Be surprised on how beautiful they are. You will probably say to yourself, well, these women could have any other man in the world. How do they succumb to someone who is now pimping them out, selling their body, and making them bring the money back home? Let me tell you how the psychology of a pimp works, okay? The idea is I have to destroy your self-esteem. The only way for me to be able to destroy your self-esteem is I have to bring you up really, really high. So what am I going to do? When I first meet you, I am going to love you like you've never been loved before. And I'm going to give you experiences like you never had before. I'm going to take you to places where you've never been before. And so you're going to believe that I am the Savior, okay? You're going to believe that I am the Savior because technically I am. When I am courting you, I am going to show you that no one else loves you the way I love you. And so you really start to believe that because he starts to show you that. If you get sick, he's going to be there. Perhaps you called your brother and your brother didn't show up, but he showed up. If somebody messed with you, you don't have to call anyone. He's going to show up. He is going to be all of that. He is going to bring you into his world. Okay? And perhaps you've never been in that world before. Let's say, for example, let's say you're a church girl, okay? The perfect woman to pimp out is a woman who has never been in the nightlife before, okay? So you take an innocent girl from the church, you invite her into your world, and then what you do is you show her the goodness of that side, okay? So to speak. And now all of the endorphins are running through her body, darling, and little does she know she's having a chemical reaction. Okay, she's having a biochemical reaction to the experiences that she's having with him. So when you are looking at a woman who is being pimped out, don't just degrade her and say, oh, she's stupid. No, darling, this woman is actually an addict at this point. The pimp knows how to produce a level of endorphins in a woman that makes her completely addicted to the high that he is actually giving her by the experiences. He's giving her a dose of endorphins. He knows how to keep her doped up, so to speak, because that's exactly what's happening. That when he completely removes himself or tries to punish her the first time, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to show you, when you act up, I'm going to show you what it's like for me to not be around. He's going to quickly withdraw. And when he quickly withdraws, you're left with this feeling, this unbelievable feeling that you've probably never felt before in your entire life. And what is that? That's actually a chemical response. The addict is not getting the dose of endorphins. The pimp knows how to really tap in to this is really deep, but he knows how to tap into a part of a woman's. He knows how to tap into what is going to produce more endorphins, and he's going to keep feeding you and keep feeding you and keep feeding you all of the endorphins, so that when he removes himself, he now has chemical control. This is why it's so important for our daughters to learn what Elder Eden is teaching, because there are some men out there that are going to take truth, wrap it in a lie, and then take complete advantage of you. And before you know it, you are an addict and you don't even know you are addicted. You're not addicted to drugs. Like, we're not talking about crack cocaine. But it's the same chemical high. Nobody talks about this in dating and love. Nobody talks about this in dating and love. See, where I come from, I've seen that happen. But I thank God I had the the kind of cousins and uncles and brothers and those kind of things around me, I've seen the prettiest women get turned out on drugs. The prettiest women sell their bodies because they didn't know that the men that they were with were, I guess I would say, more wittier than them. They just want to use and abuse you. Because what did Elder Eden tell Asana in the last lesson? Is that he is a man without repentance. He's more sinister than any of the others. And if you're watching this and thinking that you can never get yourself involved in a pimp, please understand that all pimps are not dressed like pimps, darling. They're not all walk out here with a pimp Don Juan pimp cup and some Cartier shades and 1,000 rings and 1,000 necklaces. No, darling. Today's pimps will be represented in a suit, in a tie, in a slick mouth. They will make you think that your education is worthless. They will make you think that your desire and your drive to be a better woman is worthless. But that's what today's pimps are. That's today's honeybee. I have to make you feel that who you think you are is not good enough, so I can make you who I want to make you, so I can control you. Do you understand? Do you understand this? Hear me. A man without repentance, he's more sinister than any of the others. He has no intention of loving anyone other than himself. He baits with a fierce vengeance and is capable of engaging many women. Today's lesson is this, okay? Stay away from this guy. Stay away. Because if you don't stay away, then you're not armored up. Okay? Armor up, ladies. Start to understand what Elder Eden's teaching. And like I said, all of us are going to experience it at one point or another. But the whole point of our Sanahood journey is that we wisen up, okay? And that we make better choices with those we decide to submit to and love. Submission is a very, very, very biblical thing, okay? And there are some men out there who know that. But there are also plenty of good men. Plenty of good men. We have black ones, dark chocolate ones with big strong backs, and they're highly educated. They may not look like this guy, so they're not packaged well. He might be sitting behind a desk coding a computer, or he might be reading a book at the library. He might be in a place that you may not find the honeybee. But he loves good, and he's a good family man, okay? He's not going to be throwing it all on the stage, right? Because he believes in saving, because he believes in investing. So he may not be dressed or packaged well, but understand that's your first indication on who he might be. But before you give the man your address, talk to him on the phone. Allow him to talk more than you. If you are talking too much in the dating phase, and he knows more about you than you know about him, then guess what? Oh, darling, you gave him the plan. You gave him the roadmap. Save some things for when you decide that, okay, this might be somebody I'm interested in. Allow yourself interest. I don't know how women go from, and I say women because, listen, all of us have been there. We go from he likes me to phone number, date, sex. No. Take your time to make a proper assessment. Yes, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old you are. Take your time to make a proper assessment. At what point do you get my phone number? At what point do you know my address? At what point do you know where I work? At what point do you know? Those are some things that you save for people you have a interest in. Do I know your middle name? Do I know where you come from? Do I know anything about your family? Do I know anything about your sisters and your brothers, and how many do you have? And then how much do you know about me? When I put that on the scale, I'll pass. Allow yourself that option. But that takes time, darling. We have another video tomorrow, and then we have another video on Wednesday. I want you guys to understand that, listen, we're not all one cookie cutter way of being, and that's the beauty of women. But the same thing is also true for men. They're not all the same. And yes, like I said, there are some dark, dark, dark chocolate ones that are amazing. There are some light ones, some caramel ones, some Indian ones, some African ones, I can go on and on and on. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about all the beautiful men that are available and out there. What I know to be true is that we haven't ironed out what our selection process looks like. And so we just essentially keep picking the same honeybee over and over again. It's time to start to evolve and to investigate what the elder was teaching. Learn about the boar. Is the penguin your style? Or is the whale your style? Ooh, I can't mess with the whale. But this is something I want you guys to understand. I will see you guys tomorrow on the next lesson. I love you tremendously, okay? I'm doing my life's work by sharing. This is good. If you like the video, if it was beneficial to you, and you want your sisters to learn what the elder is teaching, okay? We're going back to the huts now. Oh yeah, we're turning up the heat. We're going back to the huts with the wisdom of the ancients to learn what's necessary for us to survive in this atmosphere that we have here. It's the return of the divine feminine. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well. Bye, guys.